twaja honda struggle tushabiriza twinaka sente kitu. So we have put up that building. And I would pray that twaza kumara emyaka nkenga hino murimba ro mutugire kizimbi cyangu ahari high street ninga street empango. Abako wo inecho, first of all you are stable. Secondly wajero tinagira shortage because arabo kusanga twine demand ze sente nyingi kuchereza twino mushaho chetenga muka financial support witine echo kubasa kusinga to kubasa kutunga loan. So mbwene ni manyangu abashobere bye sente mbaza kunchalenjinga imwe munguze sente numujara tumshemeye kuzombi zimbi. But for us we took that line because ebyo kwega yira diocese babanza baba signing sa sana bishop yazaha but nabwe tinkwenda kwebwa nowe bayi batutereza mwakantu kunga bakaba bitereza mbatero mungano kandi wiringire mbene hatu twine byitu tugira financial support nitukose byitu kongo of course rugaga ine value nche icyo kizimbi kukiri inkambara of course it would be earning a different variable kumanya properties. So we still need more properties to make sure that when we want numuza kureba hati ntwenda nka billion 5 tubakubasa kuzikereza aha kizimbi cyankahi cha rugaga. Therefore we still need more structures to make sure that we support our own demands. Then we have also recruited staff. Nabagamba ntwine abakozi 9 nomwe echo tukozreje kandi ba staff barungi ito tuguma na ba staff ntuguma ntuzonzora mombi ntumwiham nisima kanonu kizinduka obe nakuraka chiko to opening outreaches na as mentioning reho kandi ejo no demand yo buhereza obwabantu bakutusaba ngo tuseyo services. In fact our demands are too many. Konkanto twarampora calculatively making sure ngo twaza kuzayo twagenda turushua ntuza ku breaking even in a short run. So tukatungaho granti FSDU and Mastercard abo bakatsupport ne sente ezo konkazo condition yo kugira ngo tuzihereza abachara na nabana almost like 70%. Then 30% ezo zikazira mutware bona kandi of course n'umuchuma ngo abashija nite tukuba ntwinde sente nyingi mwene baka conditioning sente ezo esente zatuyamba kureba ngo nite twagira loan ze sente nyingi. Now that one we are giving at 1.8%, yet ezito loan ntichira kuzihera at 24% per annum. Mwene na muri yecho ba professor ncho tubaretire imwe mwaturondera source of funds ezikubasa kubazira cheap nitwe sako yitu ntubasa kuguruza hanze tubasa kuguza even at 15, we can even give at 18. Financial consultant, our biggest threat now kutugira concern yesente, our funding comes from banks. Can banks, they are very expensive at here are 18 20 but ahoneberajoro mbenu our loan zi ni manu za kumbuza loan ya nyuke eri expensive tutunga higuru ni tenteko kugira kutwagobaho. So ekinde tukozire loan zi tuzi chenderezeho abako insurance yitu ekeri ari 2%. Kobe no tunga million igana sharonka 2 million, but now we have reduced to 1%. Kandi insurance yitu ina insurance company eri kutuyamba muri yebi. We have also done corporate social responsibility omateka nabagira ngo sako zaza kurakora natuyambe n'abantu abututura nabo no muri yebyo harimo abantu abutukudonatingira nambwe ntati no environment ndangu ebonere tubahereze mitabantu babyare imiti Simon ninde nagabe miyani omudayosisi konkani to hine mite ituragabe erayiboneze environment. So ntuzagumiza munecho kandi nebindi tukozere pre AGM kandi abantu bitu abayatendiye pre AGM zitu zona zikaba successful branches zitwagiremo. In fact I elect the class of people abizira mu pre-AGM kandi ndeba it is the same class erya abokuba mukamura delegates wherever you were. Ezo pre-AGMs zikazi nemigasho mingi icyo kubanza no kushemesa aba members bitu, which is a requirement mu kutandika sako government neteze beragira ngo tushemesa abantu. Nico twareta financial consultant okutushemesa na naha ntuzakushoma. Echa kabiri tubenturunda na delegates ni believing ngo majority of you here murondirwe nka delegates kurwo mu pre-AGMs. So branches zona tuzirabiremo kandi it was very successful. Ebyo byona nobyo bikozire nebintamentioninga tubikozire tine challenges na ro challenges ezitubwine Dr. Bitekerezo ni nkwacira ubare kurga Kampala. Challenge icyo kubanza twinemo abanyaji haza abanyajabo twigira ngo baragahari nimeyambe mbazi bita bako atari umuntu utukaroni atari member. You must first become a member to get our loans. Therefore abantu abatunyagire ni members bitu kandi abamwe tuyino buzare nabo bamwe nabakazi bitu abandi nabashijanitu nangwe kirunja bunkureba hamwena tingmo kumwayo choosing mwe tumurubanyaji konka bano manyo munyaji ntubashaba ngo mutuyambe mutucorrectingire. It has been a big challenge kukwata mitwaro nka million nkita nokazo muntu okareba nayeshereka ndireba bo busente buce bono bana na kureba yuruka omushango mutoyireta cicira aterisha. So mbwe n'abantu abo ntubashaba mutuyambe tugizeremo na dormant accounts. Dormant account says is an expense. Ntubashaba ngo mukosa accounts zanyu kumwe mwayigwire kora choice mukigura accounts mu Millennium SACCO muzukozeza omwe ko kumbuza jati nyonka gura shares zanje ibiri kuyanetandikana member ona ibiri ona zo tuzikanya mugume mwongeremo sente kandi mujukozeza. Ekindi tunjiremo nacho calamities. Most of our branches nizi ziyombyaro abo kumanya emyanya itukuturamo harimo abinente almost emyeze mingi abantu bakarwaza foot and mouth charetero umuntu wabirarire roni yente yaremwa kushashura. So haruho abebitoke nkazangarama za rugaga abo nabo baremwa kushashura imiyaga yatera n'ezindi other natural calamities nko mukumuzumanya konkecho. It is not the only reason na nabagambe haruho abanyaja bine affected konka haruho abanyaji abari intentional nangwa abo kudiverting anescent agiratiniza kutamasho mu rutoke ushanga kuziritaka ninga shwiro mukazi wa kabiri you divert the money. So abantu abo nibabe mu society yitu konga nacho calamities aho ngambera tutireho insurance ruketaringa ebyo in case kuwa kujara problem o shire manager wawe I verifying haruho insurance roho itutireho rukuza ketaringa for that natural calamity if it is genuine. Tutinyereho na challenge ya court abakama baryaha court zitu mwen tuzukura usya bintu otwara y'umuntu shana mkwaka shatu nkogu bamutumu kwa makaga bamutumu kwa mwenda kandi to no manyatara mukintu kudogo ito twatayo ntubantu yenda ngo ebintu bigendeje probably mbatukizako tinkicumanya. I don't want to be quoted konka mbwenu process delay injire abakama baryantu bashaba ngo mutere muka speed otherwise abanyaji ko barya kahonga imyezi mukaga probably next time tiya kutunyaje ninga kagambira abandi. My Lord Bishop kankutume ojoza yoburokwe ubundi abantu bakarokoka ko tuzigendaje. Challenge ndijo tutungiremo price fluctuations. Of course ngoko nabagambira inflation ne turetere kizubu ushanga prices z'ebintu ekitoke kiri ya mutware 3 this time ngarama omuchanda kiza ahankumi 5 omuntu wabe akorekero kakutwara akakoreka ekitoke ate ekitoke cyanje kino kireba leta no muguzi ushanga nabaguza mba muhe mutware 3 noreba next time ekitoke cyayikanga ashinje 15 mbwene omuntu ogwo nasoshora nico kimwe n'amate n'ebindi mbwene ezo prices. I don't know how government can help us stabilize these prices, but I know it is a little bit difficult. Challenges ni nyingi konka nabasa kumentioninga hwezi munchirize nsima abantu aba Fonda Petroni Bishop Wito Mukundwa webari omushijo ogwo na marketing everywhere akatwereza space omumotoka ye yanaza kwemeka reverend yaba naza kutahwengaro. We have a space in his vehicle. Mumutero mungaro. Time nuba kuberi inche na teko creating aho ka space ka sako. Nuba kuba ijuira fitting because it was going to be expensive. Yana azokombya rongo tujende ntitamwa masto motoka yetu. Ntsima ba bishop abapata ninjere itwe bishop wa Northwest Bishop Magezi ni went kusima ntsimo wa East Rwenzori abokuba ngoku bishop yabagambira atwesire yatuhereza venue nango yatane kizimbi cyo kutandikiraho. So in April we are opening a branch in Kamwenje. We're already in March. It is ending. April 16th we are opening a branch. Mureke nsime na mama RC na ni mangu na Aisha Mwesugwa ayambire Bishop Witu konkana nyakanyamba ahabo kuba haruho obundo bunabe naja ntunomanya nsavinjiro bwiye buringo mureke hati mpeze konka kanto mukishenje yaja Bishop tubamwanjira nahendeka kandi Bishop nabaratizo mugambiro tumyaka eneje yongireyo ashemerirwe yasavinga kandi ruhanga yamukoze kintu cyatunguka. So nawe ni msimu munchirize mbesere fish nsimo mukazi wanje mbamweta Madam Jack Tumwine twine hardware business family business hati tinkubire ndiya ha kwataru twatitaru hunt closing konka nkichirizana nawe namujana hati ugumu mukangutwaro bwiti ijo nkaza Kampala na mare weeks biro mu AGM nezi branches zo kuzetora ijo tukaturuka Mwenje wabo tine support yo mukazi no oremo mwenu mumutero mungare we special ako nanya nakabihamu abo kumuhika mugambire bundi ko kumugambiri wagira ngo bana uzana munchirize nsime board members vetting committee na subco members nkoko nabagambira obuti of committees zone. We have worked as a team. Kandi nkubera mazima, I don't want to tell you a lie. We were disagreeing in many fronts, but at the end of it all, turkamutu ichirizine kandi tukshek. Mbeno muntu yakubihang all the time it was yes. Ejo nayo committee ejo tingwe na shitamemo. You understand? Tiben to disagreeing tujira konka the end of it all tuichirizangu majority of yajangu neche. That is the best, and that's what has led us. Because majority kwewe nejirangu neche nangwa nyoche amano ubundi beninjana amani minji kunkaba nkuringa down. Please, this is the best. So I thank you so much for your support. I have been consulting individuals I can't mention here. Echintu no matter kutuvuga groups haruhe bintu ebembishoboka jo tatu na taking a position yo gunogu hato murchiko muninza munu charabamu nibemanya twentustamahariya zomuka koka skitu echintu tuchubaga twaheza kuchubaga in the meeting oshango rchiko ruje abo kuba nanyembe nyine position obundi yakubire different from that. I thank you so much. Ninsima our chief guest ogu no muntu ari busy no muntu Professor Zuruma ainemerwa mingi ai busy mnonga konka sacrificing for today members mumutero mungaro omwihango mwaine mu mwanya kandi abantu bace kandi ekirunju munonga nakunda ruhanga kandi namanye bya finance. Also nchirize nsime Mr. Tony Mugisha tone mgisha nyombe ntakumanya abantu abo bombi baresugwe bishop witu ahabo kuba mbwene wayinegiye yitu takubasa kuteka mwite nka professor ntumanyana nakasumuntu katera ko nka ko benonde cyangwa ni okonsomango so mbwenu abantu abo baresugwe bishop niyo ntukusima konka tone CV yagambiri. Now I'm waiting. Abantu abo bategerize kura okora tushemeze. Mureke nsime Kampala Fellowship. Obuna nkaba Kampala Fellowship abataka ishiraho ati ni ngamba general Kampala Fellowship mwemereze mikono ninga mwemerere abo kubasa. Of course we danga no mumanya yabana baje kwijari yaracha rokatubura bitu kanone niwe to kureba ngo sherirwe. So abantu aba is a fellowship of Kampala. Ati niza kuba uka history kache bishop kuyabi aine routine fellowships in Kampala abantu abukuruga kunuye. So kuyabaza kuzaye nko kuna abagambera atwara chairman ati regional manager need to presenting. Konka abantu aba batusaba ngo no, we cannot keep good things in Mbarara. You must bring it in Kampala. In fact hati nyoni mpura nongiza ngo hati sana chairman instame Kampala abako hati kintu cha Kampala chikwasireyo kugira ngo even ogumomu omuroko city kandi hariyo capital city bitecheros chairman headquarters city Kampala tse hina Bank of Uganda. So mbenu Kampala yo kwasireyo ntubasima abantu abo fellowship yabo niyo yazirwe mu branch ejo kandi zikiriyo nduzarwa. Namwe ntube turagine na Canon Duncan na kura Chitara Church. Okay? Chitara Church tubintu jangu hati tutandike tube takajire tube turutinda. Konka twine soft landing omu Chitara Church okuni member witu atire space anytime tuzakuza yitu presenting okuna yitu yo branch. So Canon webare to supporting. Munchirize nsime Millennium SACCO shareholders Bishop Gasatura na kwachira yotoka basa kubara mu mutero mungaro ogo ni member witu kandi amazoro bwire natkunda webere bishop kwije. So ba members mwena nimbasima kandi tinka mentioning amazina ganyu mwena konka you know that wherever you are being recognized. Munchirize nsime management ejo in a special way nimbasima abo kubito kukora policies twata hwebiragiro bo biruka babi implementing kandi achievements to abagira ngo baboreka sure don't take them simple bayembara banko mfanasi kureba ngo achievements umuntu tagisia ushanga natunga punishment ubundi wagisia tumuha reward. So stick and what and carrot it when your method kora it was ninyenda kubesasiza ebitu barabize mbyona twenda ngututungeje ko yaro kintu kikumpa man no kwijanga bagambira ntutugobiri. Just imagine hata naza kwijanga tukozire roses nebigambo tubukubura. So when all the time obobe no reba ntukuriringa abantu aba general manager we arabire nko mu fanasi no kwenda nguturete better results. Tendereza Yesu Tari mwana gwendiga Saigun ekitendereza ekyo kikire kandi kizaguma ukizeho buri mwaka abako abantu aba ntitekwa guma ntubagreeting Nera mwaka turete result hata kitenderozo twesasirane namwe kuba baryantu antugwera no mbifu. So otherwise ntubatine bad intention yo kugira ngo iwe ntwenda ho miliyoni igana ugo mwezi uri ntumwenda ho atano. So konkani byo twagamba ntufightinga tucheza kandi twikirizana nabo barahape ngati nabetera general manager speech nawe arahape kurengo na presenting results nonje. So harabin kwenda kubashaba No, before that, I need to ninyenda nsime government. I can mubatero mungaro. Naza kwanjura abantu ba government mwamtakakira hina bindi abayiziremu ubundi aba government mwemere na ro chairman wa Rugaga ubwo n'umunywana witu haruho abandi aba government abizire ubwo mucara yarga Kampala ting manyesha gukora konga nawe ni mangu no mukama abwo ba Kampala abakama RDC kashiyo kaniwe mukama w'ekintu haza nakwishika tukatura mu AGM haruho umuntu aho tunahweza damisho gatandika gukora nawe no government representative kama officer na I'm expecting ana mayor tabakizire kare ben RDC Mike President Museveni mu musime cyo kubanza atuhire environment yo kukoramo eco mu mutero mu ngaro eca kabiri enyuma aho abantu bakutwabe tukora amagoba twamara kweho ibindi byona bajanga umutaka bagini mwe 30% muzito mu government eca kacitsasa rato tuzirya zona akatwemya ki 10 tuzirire namwe no gwabiri na mushanju hatu tutandikireka kuyega yo kugira ngo umuzeyi konka no manya atutongere yo bundu gwaka nkabutano hatu tukuza kushaba minji so mbwenu ntumsima konka mwenu kwereza ekintu akakurekura at you go operate within these terms tukugira ngo ntwenda amateka kandi bishemwe we have been very compliant to government terms and regulations tarho onko wayora iyarizire ngo naza kucinga sako ntashore ndijo mishoro pay as you earn NSSF ebyo ntubishashora tukugira ngo akatusashura amagoba twamara kurunda naho amhero so mbwenu itwe we are very compliant konka batwira obusingi kandi obutukuzo ministry rero nkatwine bitinza abagamba Millennium yija nibatandika kutebekana so butebwa chairman so ntubasima munonga mureke nsime no mbashabe ebintu ebyo kusimana bingi konka kamba shabe ebintu ebyo cyo kubanza ntsa presentinga treasurer naza presentinga budget nimbashaba ngumja approving echa kabiri kuko nabashobero haro tukugira shortage ya sente tukigira shortage ya sente ito tukwenda kuoreka customer witu ngo yananda roni ya miliyoni 3 ninga 5 hatumje ngutine sente nito tugenda tuyeguza handi kandi banks nkoze ukora na reo manager wa DFC ya na weno byakora nazo mbanko biganda ziya munitwe mutwikirize tugume turiye loan ya miliyoni 5 we are asking for 5 billion bararete mubene mu votinga kandi mwikiriza nabo nangwa nanye nabo nakubantagarukire mwikirizane nabo bararete kwa nanye ndi umuntu kandi nyine tamwe yinshemeye kuba ninkora nkakomera twine targets twenda gukora umwaka ogu ntwenda ngo members mu growing ntwenda kwigura branches twatwabagambira uko Mwenje je tukabura kudimensioninga ntwenda ngo tukore to diverting on products twenda kutandika kuguza n'amataka kandi twatandika tukareba ngo nikigoba ntwenda ngo to improving services can't increasing a digital transformation kosa mobile banking in online ntwenda ngo to increasing our presence on Bantu corporate social responsibility na byo ntwenda to increasing mureke mpendere nebi cyo kubanza mbasime mwena ababasa kwija abargahihi na hare akusacrificing time eji mukareba ngumwisha nimbashaba ngo Millennium SACCO egume ni mugikirizamu no mu campaign njatugire abantu binje bagoreshe yazi kandi mu recommending abantu kandi niwe be number 1 choice ya financial service one ondarono bano mwiwisha one onda ku banking sinzi za system because the SACCO is safe nyenda ngutukume turu focus akureba ngo SACCO eji yakura kandi yahereza abantu nabo baganyira mu twenda ngo umuntu abememba wa Millennium SACCO kure rero ushanga umuntu wariyo narwo mu nkito natereberemo twenda ngo tukorane na ba members nyenda kubashwarenga ngo Millennium SACCO ituruho eri stable eri sound kandi nemanya hekuza kandi ntuhareba I am telling you itotwine na roni ezaho zaho we are really stable kandi turiceje munonga ninchi basimira abwo kutrusting sente zanyu nyenda ngo mukama gumarinzire SACCO AG unity for development nimbendeza okutensaje mwebare kumpurchers twazari agenda nende organizing abantu abizo bundi tugamba ntubacira ntubareba konko kwanjara twatwakwerize konko kuchira munonga financial partners harimo nareba mba SACCOs abunareba powe twabona time twija kubanjura konka nareba musakozi abutwesere twareba mu bankazi ntubareba ntubacira mwenu twazari agenda muri Kenya chire patron witu agire bigambo byatugambira
Yabare mnonga chairman remarks mwena hihi mwine copies nza kugeza honi ndafusiana nagizero mugishago kuburira kureka babataruho muri ico part mwagiferwa. Our guest of honor, board members n'abantu bakuru mwena ombitinisa byanyu umuringo gw'omutano nyenda kwakira Bishop Amos Magezi yashobora okache mutero mungaro bantu mwe mutero mungaro nyenda kwakira Bishop Gasatura welcome ogwakatandika kuba member akiri Rwanda ibere byo bumwe naija kunu aza kuri konka he became a member when he was in Rwanda and we appreciate ntwenda kwakira kandi no kushemerera omujwekera wa Bishop wa Kamwenje yakiraha ariya welcome umwe mwakiro bwari yaho ngo ni Bishop ahuyiremera mogo twenda kumwakira no kumushemererwa mwena ombitinisa byanyu orunurukiko rwa 12 orwa annual general meeting kandi habireho za delegates meetings omyanya etari mwena nemwe ntungiro mugisha nazo mu rwa Kampala no rwa Rugaga. Reflection on the past year. Umwaka guhire gubire murungi nyenda kusima Ruhanga utwebembire kandi no kureba ngo ekizimbe cya Rugaga tukaruga kukimaririza twacombeka cyona n'ikirunge no mukireba nico kiri aha page on top. Kandi twenda kusima Ruhanga by the time we went to press tubiretakatire echaka mwenje yabashobora branch neza kwigurwa 16th of April before Easter kandi otusimire Bishop abo mu rumogo kandi no kutamu amani ntwenda hariho abamwe abitukuza kuhereza birabo tuburi omwena some few here and there to see Ruhanga abwaba aborekere dedication na Kampala tu inebera bitwahire nkaba kusavinga munonga abakwiha yoloni munonga abakusashura jeroni ebyebyo they are good motivators and good examples twenda kubasima nabakubire nibatunge birabo bakabire barvinji. The road ahead, election of new board members. Today we also mark an important governance milestone. Abakubantuza kubantutorana aba members abasya bayirawe ni shaba otakashanga nka katate usange nka hati taine nka invitation katate umomba secretary ababandize nka katate no basakushanga tine invite bitwete member wakabina kokwijuka abantu tureke kunaga abantu as we go along the way. In fact, some of these even in our bylaws, those who have been members should be invited by that. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be a good thing. So ntwenda kusiima kandi tushabangu mukama atwebembere. There is a vetting committee neza kutereza report kandi nyesika buzimangu mukama Ruhanga ayo serare nitwe ababaroho tushome kigambo mwachurra ekye kintu ne kya mukama nabwe icyo nyesiga ngo ubuzima naza kutwebembera kandi ntutunga body nungi erukuza kutwera kuzarurengo rundi. Commitment to growth and member empowerment. Twenda kusima Ruhanga kuterezo mugisha ba members okushobesebwa n'ekintu kikuru nicho tushaziremu no kubetera abagambi nk'aba guest of honor Professor Suruma bajungu nibagira needs no introduction kandi naza kutabra by the way ninge ombyo ragambeho niza kushaba ogamba kintu kya Bank of Uganda nenda ngu nitwe tutwari hati nambwendo hariho aba SACCOs bakerundana bakora objection ekintu ekyo nyesigaho utahano bishomano bireba. By the way Professor Suruma tukatwa mwesero mu Sheraton obutu tuza Kampala kuigura tukagerayo seminar Kampala mu Sheraton when we had a drive yok raising more shares and he was there with his wife. He has been part of our journey. Ningere cyasigara no kwijana ito tukaza kabari umurembo nayo tukatayo sako tuko yajerati nicho cyasiganda kada bakabari bo kuba kwate kintu tuba kusiba nabo ninka babunyoro bariya. So I believe we shall. Then maybe one of the things you will need to advise us even with our financial consultant is in my thinking, how do you manage success? Because you can succeed and then you find that you're overwhelmed by success. I seem to think that's the kind of where we might be. So nimbashaba members mwena ngongere kutamani omusakeji kandi nimanyango mukama Ruhanga yabarhamwe nitwe we shall overcome. Appeal. I would wish to bring to the attention of members to exercise financial discipline. Chairman yabagambira echabantu because the SACCO ne aba members, but when you come kando kanyaga and you default on loan, then it affects the profits we would get. Tukabire tutunga magoba menja gatakaribukaga konkabo kugira ngo ba members abamwe ne banyaga kandi kambagambire abantu abakuremwa kushashura kugira ngo nibaremwa abo kugira ngo bumwe n'abandi babuzurwe sente abantu abamwe bamanyiriro kunyaga nyonkandi headmaster I was a deputy headmaster in charge of fees at Intare school. There are some guys, there is a guy who used to in Mbarara here to come driving a Benz. Is the question there is a fees. Hati way you drive a Benz, you are coming to bonde chereho. It means there is something wrong with your financial discipline, management of resources. Hati when I come back and kore business yanje, konke chomwana kushoma, chotaku tukugira ngo abakoremwa kushashura bakuchira nibabatine ki sente konka abakuchira babi no mutuma gobunyaji. So I don't know, for me I'm not a financial guru, but these gurus can help us. This is a member driven where you give loans and people have been helped by these loans. But now I reach a point and say maybe instead of giving loans and people kutunyaga, we put the money in like unit trusts I hear and we make money. And we only give to those who are reliable and faithful. Will the SACCO collapse? I am not sure. I don't know. Those who are good in the field can advise us. But really, abanyaji, it is sad. Conclusion. Nyenda kusima chairman wa board. Sebo manya leadership, the top matters. They say fish rots from the head. That's why we shall keep thanking you, not that we are not mindful of all our roles and responsibilities as board, but mumheze engaro nyingi. Yes. Konka naba members nabo it's important. Nko kuyabagambera tugenda tuzo board abantu bateesa oshuti nibenda n'okukwata n'amaraka, but for the good of the SACCO abandi nibenda kukwata n'amaraka bakwenda kwiba. Like he said, the chairman, when you said it, I came to realize it, that we have never, since we started, got any like investigation to say this member has done wrong, or maybe there's a procurement which a member was involved in conflict of interest. We only debate fiercely to protect the interests of the members' savings and SACCO and the members' money. That's where we have differences. Do we take this route? Do we take this route? Then abantu bahajana. Kandi tuyina abashaija abantu ba CPA mwemerere tuli. Kenton Birisho ba nowamanya baliaha tuyine Professor Nixon on the SUPCO, PhD in finance, is one of the SUPCO members. We've been very mindful. Is where? Namanya PhD finance. So tuyinemu abantu abashomere ebintu. Konka tuyinemu n'abashubuza bakumanya okushubura. Omwami kati harahi. Hata ababo tibarashomere ebyanyu ebyo konka sebo. Esente ye najimanya kandi najyetegereza. So tuenda kusima. We have a mix here and there. So in conclusion, let us remain committed to a shared vision, teamwork, transparency, accountability. We shall overcome. As I have finished my presentation, and the next is, Chairman of course is in charge, but I would just request that when Tony Mugisha is speaking, Reverend Abasa omuvunurire, because Tony abana baitu abituorire naba Kampala mwamuto mu Nyankore nuza kumuteganisa dero noza kumuvunurira when we get to that point. May the Lord bless you.
Engaro mzonjere Bishop kan Petron webare kando kwato bwire munyoni ndenzi yabwire kokano ribi uturo in space yugambira abantu nanye kunku babona nkanja ntikamba gambire
otafai.
So mbenu twazari agenda konkatu yontu kamtawa man. So now we are going to receive keynote speaker Bishop kamu introducing ejabo kuba tuenda tumanya umuntu naguma kweyanjura.
As he comes, I will say is omwami ogo ni financial consultant. Hariho abantu abakushoma ebintu byabo na kuhabura ombye sente otebekanisa ebyeka yawe. Nomai Hezekiah ruhanga buyizire rather Hezekiah nabbi warhanga kuyizire Hezekiah ya mujarango tebekanisa ebyeka yawe tori wokukira okati mwijiko kuyamwongere n'emyaka 15 atogwe woine ebintu byawe bingi biri biti naija bitebekanisa nobasa kuchetegera ekirungi munonga ine mu example yakuza kutereza ya honorable Karuhanga. You came with that? Naza kuch hata abantu nyonye kiro no mukazi wanje tushitamire nawe twashitama twaheze shayibire necweka ekikubasa kugambira abantu bashomera ebintu byabo abo kubahina hitikire kutubire ntumushobora tumanyo kutu hata kutukagura yitaka kutagura yitaka hatoko kwagire kutubara yabarubwe nangwa abandize kutabura ito nka diocese aba bari aha diocese tubine ba Dr. Kasisi tubine financial consultant rather tubine treasurer atugize nguti no bwiga bwa billion zingahi roughly 43 billion konka tushangire ntutasya 0.000 kezo ezi tukutasya no work done. So hati tugira drawing board ntuza kutandika bisya kureba how do we reorganize ourselves. niwo mushuzi naliwo muntu an individual ebyo inesebo not mbadi ndebo lyono yombeka hoteli ogwo mushija no mwetenga omwete noma abira guzubitu naye tinkushoboza kasete kanje konka wota kashowize ezora aferwe anyway nikona mwanzo atyo but he has studied and he has worked in America, in Japan, all over the world. Kari.
Thank you so much, Bishop Sheldon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Bishop Sheldon,
I want also to welcome your other bishops from other dioceses.
oba tuje tugere honka umuntu atukoresa marumwanya go kugaruka muri kigambo
after a while. Okay.
After a while.
Okay.
Kan my Lord Bishop nangira ngo wa finance omuntu kwetegereza je bya finance n'abarumurungi ati nyine bwoba
of Aton Capital. We have offices here in Uganda. We are Ugandan business. We have an office here in Uganda. We have an office in Nairobi. We have an office out of the US in Arizona. And hopefully by the end of this year, we should have an office out of Singapore to support multiple things that we do. What do we do as Aton Capital? We focus on 3 areas. One area that we are very strong in is risk management. Second is investment. And third is estate planning. When I got this invitation from Bishop, I think it was early this year, speaking to the House of Bishops, and we had a conversation, and I'm glad that we are here, and I've fulfilled my commitment to be here. I think as I go into my presentation, I want to congratulate each and every one of you. For 13 years, you guys have done an amazing job. You did clap for yourselves. I've also noticed that in 8 years is where you've actually been able to do the major strides. I think courtesy of chairman and your team. My conversation today is going to be about what next, right? As Millennium SACCO, what next? You've been able to make strides, but what next? And as I go through this presentation, you want to probably look at Millennium as a big picture, but also you want to reflect as individuals in terms of, because when you talk about financial planning, it's quite broad, but there are about 7 areas that concern. And the beauty about Millennium SACCO is you're actually addressing a number of those, which I'll mention a bit later. As I cover my presentation as Millennium, are you focusing on collaboration or you're looking at competition? As we're going to share, your competition today is not the other SACCO, it's not the other bank, it's the fintechs. You pretty much don't know who's your next competitor. So I'll also cover something on that. Are you excited to listen? Okay, great. All right. So our topic today is intergenerational wealth, it being a state of mind. I believe each and every member that is a member of Millennium SACCO you're actually looking at this with a longer outlook, not as you alone, but to a greater outlook, your family, your businesses, your aspirations that you have. Most of the time when we speak about wealth, because when we talk about finance, what comes to our mind? Majority of people, and I don't know if you're among those people, majority of the people think about wealth as money, right? Others think about wealth as a business enterprise. As we sit here, others in this room are probably thinking about wealth as property, or as real estate. Others thinking about wealth as stocks or shares. But I want to share with you, as we go into this presentation, that wealth is beyond what you're seeing or what most people think. And also I want to align the thinking process of Millennium as you go ahead, as you expand, as you do great strides. Can you think beyond this? Because these are only financial assets. And by the way, anywhere you will go, I've had the privilege to work on 4 continents, but I can tell you that anywhere you go, there are only 5 asset classes you'll ever invest in. Only 5. You see, when I sit with most of my clients and we try to do the plotting of the different assets, I keep re-emphasizing that there are only 5 asset classes. When you speak about investment, it looks so broad. The first asset class is property. We all know property, right? Why property is good is because it has been able to hedge against inflation for a long period of time. But is property bad? Most people will tell you, property is not bad. Property also has a downside. Today I can tell you, if you have some landlords in here, it's not a guarantee to get good tenants. It's becoming an easy prey for taxation. In other markets, or some places, also property depreciates. But that doesn't make property a bad asset class. Just like the other 5 asset classes, they all have pros and cons. The second asset class is equities. What Millennium has, and all you members, you have an equitable interest in Millennium. Your members, you're putting your money there, and you have an equitable interest. When they do the distribution, they'll be able to give you your dividend. Another example of equities is where you have interest in maybe a listed company. That's the second asset class. The third asset class is commodities. Do we have any farmers in here? I believe majority of you, some of you are farmers in here. Commodities, anything to do with farming sits with commodities. That's poultry, crops, animals, name it. Okay, so we have properties, we have equities, we have commodities, we have bonds, which is making lots of trends within the market, where government borrows from the public and guarantees a specific return, which they pay in forms of coupons every 6 months. In other markets, there are corporate bonds. I don't know what we are doing in here, but maybe as time comes, we also have corporate bonds. And the last one is cash. Cash has very many instruments. It has fixed deposits, it has unit trusts, it has annuities, it has very many instruments of cash. So those are the only 5 asset classes that you ever have. Each of them has its pros and cons. I've given you disadvantages of property. I've given you the disadvantages of equities. Today, I'm glad I've looked at your numbers. You're going to be able to share some dividend because they performed very well. But is it possible for an institution to also not deliver in terms of a dividend? It's very possible. So equities also go up and down. Commodities, you cannot tell whether you'll have a fantastic season or a bad season. All right? Cash depreciates. So all the 5 asset classes have pros and cons. Now, if now we know all the asset classes, then what defines true wealth? True wealth, and I think I've seen what Millennium has done. So what you have in the middle here is the financial assets, and Millennium has done a fantastic job in there. There's a lot still, of course, explore. But the question I want to give to the new incoming board members and all members of Millennium. What are you doing in terms of human assets? You see, when I looked at your numbers, I think you were 6,000 when you started, and right now you have 31,000 members. You can imagine the kind of human assets you have and the intellectual assets you have. As a SACCO, how are you leveraging this? When we talk about the human assets, each and every person that is here, your family, yourself, you're really an asset to this SACCO. Then the other things, the habits, the values, the unique abilities each and every one of you has, the ethics, morals, character, and time. As Millennium, are you actually being able to explore that? Are you taking stock of that? Are you leveraging that? When you look at the intellectual, the wisdom, each and every person here is gifted in different abilities. We have some traders who are doing a fantastic job. We have the professionals. We have the farmers, and so on and so forth. What impact or what collaboration can you bring on board with Millennium? The experience, the skills, the tradition, the alliances, the systems and ideas. You see, a combination of a number of things. And I've had a conversation with majority of them and asked them, if you had a choice to trade off one of the two, one of the three, which one would you trade off? Would you trade off the intellectual assets? Oh, no. Okay. Would you trade off the human assets? Would you trade off the financial assets? The good news is this. And I can actually use an example on why most of the families, if they have the human assets and the intellectual assets, they can actually trade off the financial assets, because with the two, you're in position to actually recreate the financial assets. The beauty for Millennium, you already have the financial assets. So what are we doing to explore these two? To leverage in terms of what projects we are going to embark on, what impact we are making sure that the members are able to benefit. Because one of the biggest challenges you're going to find as you grow, as the members continue to, to probably get more members, the concern is going to be, why Millennium SACCO? Today, you can compete on the level of maybe the interest rate. But is it enough? Is it enough? What more can you actually do with the 31,000 members? And I want to, and because our conversation is what next, I want you to look at what is happening in the banking space. You know, the interesting thing about the banking space in this market is majority of our banking is transactional banking. And our guest speaker will probably help me maybe shed more light on that. There's very little investment banking in this market. Investment, the difference between the two, transactional banking is where you're only probably looking for the person who wants a loan and you want a security from them. Investment banking on the other end is saying, okay, what idea do you have? What expertise can we put behind that? And how can we have an equitable interest in that? I believe, much as Millennium SACCO hasn't really gotten to the banking commercial bank status, it is a place you need to start to prepare, because I believe that's where your opportunities are going to be. Because if you look at other banks, they've started talking about things like bank assurance. You've heard about, if you've gone into any bank, what are they trying to do? They are trying to make sure that they fully optimize each and every customer of theirs as a distribution channel. As Millennium SACCO, what are you doing in that space? Today, banks are distributing medical plans. I think you know that. They have medical plans. All this can only be done through collaboration. They are actually distributing medical plans, because the question is going to be with your members, beyond the loan, what else can I be able to benefit from Millennium SACCO? When you're doing financial planning, there are 7 spheres that we look at. And as Millennium, you actually need to plan to make sure that you address each of them. The first one is family. Each and every one of us wakes up every day to make sure that our family is better than, or is able to maintain, or they're able to live the life we want them to live. The second is work. Irrespective of how much money you will have, provided you've not addressed the element of work, you will struggle. I work with some of my clients that have their kids off trust, and they still struggle with the element of work because work gives us purpose. The third is education. Every single day, even right now, there's an opportunity for us to learn something new. I keep sharing when I get opportunities to speak that actually education starts the day we leave school. Because every other day, there are many things that we get to learn that were never taught to us. That's the third, right? The fourth is finance. But you know, because we started with the discussion of we started with the discussion of intergenerational wealth, right? Finance takes most of the attention for what we call the financial assets, because we are worrying about the property, we are worrying about the money, we are worrying about the stocks. But each of them that I've mentioned is as deep as finance. So that's the number 4.